Welcome to the Left of Str8 Show, where we talk entertainment, music, books, foodies, and more each week with special guest interviews of interest to the LGBTQ community and our straight allies. Direct from the entertainment capital of Northeast Ohio. Your host, Scott Fullerton, chats with some of your favorite entertainers, celebrities, newsmakers, and behind-the-scenes people across the country and around the world who make it all happen. So sit back, grab your favorite beverage, and let's start talking.
Welcome back for another fantastic interview right here on the Left of Str8 Show, the podcast dedicated to a vibrant and diverse LGBTQ community and our incredible allies. I'm your host, as always, Scott Fullerton, and today I'm very lucky to have as our special guest, actor Clayton James is back. This is Clayton's second appearance on the show. I had the pleasure of talking to him when his short film Dominant Chord came out a few years back. We've stayed in touch on social media ever since, and it's great to have him back on. Besides being a renowned actor and model who's made a name for himself in the entertainment industry, he definitely shows his commitment and support advocating for the LGBTQ plus community as an amazing straight ally. Since we chatted last, he's done some amazing acting projects, and I was so excited to see him pop up on one of my favorite new shows that premiered last year, So Help Me Todd. We'll talk about all of his work and that, and just kind of catch up in general. Please welcome back the very handsome and talented Mr. Clayton James. Clayton, how we doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me again. It's a pleasure to be back, and it's so awesome to catch up. And it's amazing how fast time flies and how fast a couple of years goes by. So
it is so wild. I mean, we spoke in May during kind of the height of the pandemic there. Dominant Chord was just getting ready to come out. You were just getting married. You had your fiance at the time, beautiful bride there. A lot of projects since then. I mean, everything slowed down a bit, but things are picking back up. And I'm just glad we got to reach out from time to time in social media, and I'm very happy to have you back, my friend.
Yeah, I'm glad we've always stayed in touch and shared some pretty funny back and forth on social media and touch base with each other and make sure, we're both doing good. And it's been nice to make a great friend out of it too. So.
Exactly. Well, you were so amazing in that short. I was so bummed that they couldn't make it into a full length, but pandemic, everything slowed down, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, a lot of things got affected during the pandemic, and now with the writer's strike, I'm thinking that a few other things are kind of going to get shelved, but I'm hoping that we're going to come out swinging and make some amazing product, and that everybody in the industry will be protected for what they need to be protected for.
Exactly. And I've never even asked before, but I've always kind of wondered, you are bi-national. I mean, you're in Canada part of the time, you're in LA part of the time for all these acting gigs. Is it is like SAG for everybody, or do you have your own separate Canada that you're part of for a part of a union, or how does that work?
Yeah, exactly. So we have UBCP ACTRA, and UBCP is basically the Union British Columbia Performers, and then ACTRA, I believe, is and if I'm wrong on this, that's fine too. But I think it's for Canada. I know ACTRA is a little bit more focused on the East Coast, and then SAG, Screen Actors Guild, is for the US. So I'm not a SAG member. That being said, I support all of my coworkers that are, and everybody in the movement for the strikes. I believe that we're all just basically trying to do better to protect us in the film industry. And I think it's definitely something that needed to happen. I don't know a lot about the inner workings of it all, but I just know that speaking with my friends that they're trying to protect themselves from the future of AI, and then also just labor laws and streaming platforms, and trying to sort of get back to being paid what people are worth for their hard work. And it's quite interesting to see from up here. I mean, we've been affected because Vancouver has, in Canada, we're the Hollywood North, quote unquote. And so a lot of productions have come to a halt and or just not gone into production. There's still non-unions being made. So some of the MOWs are still being made, but, it's definitely changed the game. And then after COVID, that sort of shifted everything as well. So it's a lot tougher these days to work, but Yeah, I've been blessed with some opportunities, which has been nice.
Yeah, I think it's just playing catch up. I mean, everything, no one can, the technology is advancing so fast. I don't think anyone in the negotiations in years past knew what to expect. Who knew how much AI was coming into it? Who knew how much residuals would be for streaming that was never included as part of it?
Yeah.
There's just a lot of rules now that didn't really exist because the technology didn't exist. And it's time to catch up and make it fair and equitable for everybody. As always, in any industry, not just acting, but I think we have the CEOs and the corporates making the profits,
Yeah.
and we just got to try to get it to trickle down a bit, right?
Yeah, and especially in this day and age, I mean, there's so much saturation and everything, and it's really hard to hold place in, in a job. And so when it kind of everybody's getting chiseled away at, and they're making less and less and less, and the cost of living is going up and up and up, it's a lot of people are struggling right now. A lot of people are struggling financially, mentally, emotionally. A lot of my acting friends who haven't worked for a couple of years, it's really been detrimental to their health and to their financial income. And Vancouver is probably one of the most expensive cities in the world, if not, number one or up there. And it's really sad to see a lot of these people that were working for a long time, even behind the camera, just having to leave their careers behind. But again, that happens in all aspects of life, and people are kind of just trying to figure out what's next. And again, like you said, technology has changed so much. And the rules and the regulations have kind of been outdated. So it's good that people are standing up for the rest of us and uniting together and making stuff happen. Because without everybody in the machine, whatever business it is, the business isn't going to work. But it's hard to see somebody at the top getting richer and richer and richer when everybody else is suffering, and there's no remorse for it either. So
Exactly. Not even the money, just the way that insurance is based on how often you work and things like that. Just so many things affect actors that people don't even really realize
yeah,
that it's kind of crazy. So
yeah, exactly.
fingers are crossed, and hopefully it'll get better and everyone will get back to it. But we definitely need to make it equitable for everybody. So
For sure. Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
glad we were able to talk on that for a bit. Um, let's do our last unpositive thing and then to go on to some greater things. But we got to talk about B. I'm so sad for your loss in February. I mean, you have this amazing dog. You've had its own social media following that most people would envy having that many followers
Oh,
themselves, like
yeah,
7,000.
yeah.
Been with you forever. Talk about your lovely journey with B, and especially the last year, you really fought for some survival there, and she really beat some odds for a while too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I'll still cry to the end of this day. Every day I think about that dog. I mean, it was pretty much the toughest decision I've ever had to make in my life, and probably one of the most impactful losses that I've ever had. I lost my father figure when I was 18. I think I cried less then, and no disrespect. It's just it was a different sort of bond that B and I had. We only had it for 3.5 years. I advocate for getting rescues all the time. I try and post on social media as much as I can to rescue and adopt dogs that are in shelters and that are in need, and help out rescue organizations. Obviously, I wish I could do a bit more, but B came into our lives kind of just randomly. I mean, the first time that we met her, it was supposed to be a meet and greet, and Lisa Arturo, who's also in the film industry from Big Love Animal Rescue, kind of just like brought her into our apartment. And I think there was miscommunication. I think she was told that we were fostering, and it was myself and my friend. And so I couldn't really say no. And I'm so glad that it happened like that, because I wanted to meet B, and I was a little reluctant to get a dog because we just had moved to LA and things were kind of just sort of percolating with bouncing back and forth. And but it was literally the best divine intervention, one of the best divine interventions that's ever happened to me in my life. We only had her for 3.5 years, and she battled so many health issues, and it was financially very, very stressful over the years. But I wouldn't change it for the world. I would do it all over again. And she lived an amazing life. She came to movie sets with me. She flew on airplanes. She was on ferries, boat rides. She hated the boat rides, but she still just put on a brave face. And so, we got an extra almost a year for her. And unfortunately, just her body couldn't take the side effects of steroids and everything else. And I was actually working on So Help Me Todd the night we were supposed to put her down. And probably the hardest, trying to remain in an environment and kind of keep a smile on your face and not just deteriorate. But Yeah, that was like probably one of the hardest days of my life ever, was making that decision. And even then, if somebody asked me, they tell me you did the right thing, I still don't. I know that it might be the right thing, but it will never feel like the right thing. So yeah.
I'm so sorry for the loss, but I mean, such a trooper, like going through all that. Plus, I mean, I can't believe the things you let her get into. I mean, she was dressed up all the time for
Oh yeah.
different things.
Yeah.
I mean, such a great personality and
Yeah.
able to kind of just have fun with it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
obviously you guys had this huge bond. So,
Yeah. For sure.
but you do have good news. I mean, you went down to LA and you have two more that are you fostering or adopting, or
Um,
talk about your new ones.
No, we did a rescue. I've kind of so the same. My buddy Ben, he's in the film industry as well. One of my best friends down in LA. He was the one who kind of nudged me a little bit to beat B and kind of coaxed me because I got a little bit of anxiety about life changes and stuff like that. So he was the same as this. I sent him a dog, and we're always kind of going back and forth. And he understands because he lost his first pup to cancer, and they were inseparable for I think it was 11 or 12 years, and she was his everything as well. So we've also bonded over like two dog dads, within I think it was a year and a half ish, losing our pride and joys. So he's been a really big advocate as well about rescues, and he has the same amount of compassion and love for dogs, probably more than I do. So I sent him a few dogs, and he investigated, and I've always been trying to get them out of California, especially LA, because there's it's really hard down there. I mean, I would love to find one in BC. There obviously is dogs that need homes up here, and but anyways, Ben has just been in touch with a few rescues down there, and he basically was like, that dog that you're looking at, unfortunately, would probably not suit your home. I reached out to a friend. They got these two American bully puppies. Here's the story behind them, and I was like, I don't know. I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I'm ready. And he's like, I'm gonna go get them. I'm going to go get them on Wednesday. You're going to fly down on Friday. You're going to drive them back home, and that's just going to happen. And I was like fighting him on it, and he's just like, nope, it's happening. He's like, you need it. And so Ben and his wife pulled a huge rescue for us, and took the dogs into their home for a few days, and flew down to LA on Friday morning, and then hung out with the dogs and met the dogs, and then Saturday at like 7 a.m. just hopped in a rental car and drove for 2 days back to Vancouver, and Celeste picked me up just across the border and got all the dogs sorted at the border, and then brought them home. So they're two little 10-month-old sisters who are bonded from a rescue, and so we're hoping that we're going to be able to spend a little bit more time with them, because B we had for 3.5 years. I wish it was a lot longer, but they're definitely. I'm not sleeping much because they're definitely keeping me, getting me up really early and keeping me on my toes, but. Yeah, it's nice to have the puppies again, and to help two dogs out. I wish I could honestly, like, the Asher House on social media is like my dream life of just rescuing dogs and having a farm and animals in general. So maybe one day.
That's amazing, though. So glad you did that. That's so
Yeah.
cool. So talk about, we're in the middle of summer. We have some forced time off here due to writer strike and everything. You were hugely active in sports with hockey and mountain biking when you were younger. I remember when the pandemic happened, you were moving back to take care of your grandfather, and you were working on a boat. Is that the boat I saw you on the other day, or are we? Are
No,
we?
I unfortunately have a very unhealthy addiction to the water and boating. So I buy, sell, trade, upgrade. It's a big hobby of mine. It's just my happy place. And so yeah, we've traded up into a different boat, and we've been enjoying that. But it's I put 120 man hours into it, if not more, and try to do everything myself, and buy, use, and sell and do all that kind of stuff. So that's sort of a really big hobby and main focus of mine. And my grandfather, who I was very happy to spend time with and live in his house during the pandemic, he's now moved into a home, and he's got dementia and Alzheimer's, but I get to go see him as much as I possibly can, and he still lights up with a smile, and kind of knows who I am. He recognizes me. He can't just place who exactly I am, but so those dynamics have shifted a little bit. But the boat still occupies a lot of my time for a hobby, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
I love that. And I just got my Wine of the Month Club order in today. Used to be a spokesman for a whiskey.
Yep.
What's our cocktail of choice when we're on the boat or on our back deck or something?
Oh, red wine has to be my Achilles heel. It's I don't know
Nice.
yeah, I'm particular to like a Cali Cab Sav. But I've definitely ventured out a lot of BC, so British Columbia VQAs, which are from the Okanagan, so north of Vancouver. There's a huge wine country and community up there. There's a Hatch winery up there, which is amazing, in Black Swift up in Kelowna, BC. If anybody's coming up here, I definitely recommend checking out Black Swift. They have some really beautiful varietal reds and whites and some rosés. Cocktail wise, I mean, anything with a nice tequila and a mezcal in it. Celeste and I went down to Mexico and we were trying different mezcals and cocktails of, this huge cocktail burst, and just going from like a tequila soda or vodka soda into like passion fruit and burnt salts and, all these crazy concoctions and these delicious palettes and flavors. And so,
Yes.
yeah, Chris McNally, who's on When Calls the Heart, he's a friend of mine, and I know he was getting into mixology for a long time, and I always was very, curious about having that much passion for making cocktails. And the more I see people do it, and the things that people are trying out, it's I'm starting to build my bar up a little bit more so I can start playing around with some things. But it's a little more expensive in Vancouver and Canada to have to have a bar as opposed to the US. Every time I go down there, I'm just sticker shocked at how much more affordable red wine and liquor is.
Right.
But
Right. When we get off air, I'll turn my camera around here for you. My dad, when he was scheduled stationed in Korea when he was a young man, got this beautiful engraved teak bar
oh
that's
wow,
just freaking amazing, and a matching coffee table. So I'll show it to you off air, but
for sure, sounds
it's
great.
very cool.
That's
All
awesome.
right. Well, let's get into the career. I mean, we had that pandemic, but you got really busy. I mean, I told you about last time when you were there. I love myself some Hallmark things. You have just gone big time Hallmark. I'm so gay. I follow that hunks of Hallmark thing. You haven't been on there enough. That's all there is to it. But talk about all these great shows and working. I mean, a lot of it's filmed up in Canada. Talk about working these shows. I mean, you've had some great experience working with the company.
Yeah, so the name changed a few times, so I apologize if I'm going to get this one wrong. But Don't Forget I Love You was a fantastic one that we shot up here in Vancouver, and just at the outskirts of what we call Squamish, Pacific Northwest. Beautiful, beautiful, lush forests. We had a beautiful shot over a suspension bridge that like basically overlooks one of the Cleveland Dam and the canyon where our water reservoirs are, and so that was such nice, beautiful, scenic shots. And it was a lot of the movie line and storyline was about anxiety and facing your fears and, overcoming some tragedies that you've had in your life. And I had a lot of really beautiful responses to the film itself. And Christy Wolf, who I'd worked with before on my first film, Her Infidelity, who was absolutely fantastic and gave me a huge, huge opportunity at a younger age to do a lead role. Brought me in for that project as well, and it was just a really fun. We had goat yoga, which was really interesting. We got to do like a little bit more adventuring, and the storyline was a very beautiful storyline too, and that was for Hallmark Network. So that was really nice to do a film that was really well received for that production company and for that network. They make some amazing, beautiful films and a lot of big followers, and it's a really heartfelt network, which is nice. And I've seen a lot of changes, and they're trying new things with diversity and including LGBTQ actors, and expanding and trying to be more inclusive, which is what it should have been a long time ago, and it was overdue. And so now I'm really happy to see that that they're progressing in that way and making some beautiful films. And then Christmas at the Retreat was amazing. Rhiannon Fish, I will hands down say, is probably one of my favorite co-stars of all time, and that's no disrespect to anybody else. Rhiannon and I share, birthdays a few days apart. We're both Pisces. We're both super goofy, silly people on set, and just really enjoyable to work with. And so that brought out like a really nice chemistry on camera and on film. And we got to shoot out in like this camp out of Kelowna, so where I was talking about the wineries, up in a place called Peachland, and we had like an hour commute every day on a logging road that we would drive into, and then it was just this remote, beautiful setting. They used real snow for once. they weren't using these snow blankets, and we weren't shooting in the middle of July and everybody's sweating profusely, all set in their Christmas sweaters. It was actually chilly and beautiful scenery, and it was quite the adventure too. I got my truck stuck down a really nasty hill after work one day, and I had to leave it there because it was just too sketchy to get it out. So full of adventures and fun times, and the cast and crew were fantastic on that one. And then we did Killer Podcast up in Kelowna as well. So they're shooting a lot in the interior. I think it's for some tax credits, and the towns are really well received for bringing the film crews and stuff in, and the production companies up there are all awesome. A lot of like family members working with family members, PAs that are, mother, son, daughter, hair, makeup, same kind of thing. So it's really cool sort of family to go work with these smaller crews. Yeah, it was a fun thriller, and we did that up in Kamloops, and yeah, just been trying to, do some MOWs and then move forward to So Help Me Todd, and that's been really fun too.
Well, I love those. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of. I mean, next time you're booked on a Christmas movie, you got to invite me up on set because I will come up in 2 seconds of a heartbeat. But
Oh,
they're all
100%.
kind of so formulaic, but they're so much fun. I mean, I have, just so my listeners can find you, Christmas on the Menu, as Gouda as it gets, because there's always food involved in all
Yeah.
my. Love and Where to Find It. Don't Forget I Love You, The Christmas Retreat. And I want to take a quick break and show them the preview of the Christmas retreat. That's the most recent one.
Yep.
And anytime I have a chance to show a Christmas movie, I'm going to show it. So
let's do it.
Guys, we're talking to my fantastic guest here, Clayton James. We're going to play a little clip from his latest Christmas movie called The Christmas Retreat. We'll be back on the other side. You're listening to Left of Str8 Show right here in the Left of Str8 Radio Network.
Hi, you've reached Kim Jones of the Touchstone Law Group.
This is my cab.
I beg to differ.
I am late for a very important engagement.
I don't see how this is my fault.
Hey! Go!
The real love of your life is your work. I think we need to break up.
What?
I hope you make partner.
I think what you need is a break.
Mom, you sound just like Steven.
Mr. Mark, work is my life, Reynolds. When was the last time you took a vacation? Come to the retreat. I miss my big brother.
Just look around. Isn't this place breathtaking?
This retreat isn't all just gingerbread and mistletoe.
We ask you to unplug from the outside world.
In case you missed it, cell phones are strictly forbidden here.
Just help me. I need my phone.
Oh, you want me to help you after you stole my cab?
Gonna get that?
I keep your secret, you keep mine.
Scout's honor.
Shortbread, a holiday classic, but not easy to master.
Kim?
It's not what it looks like. He has his phone too.
Traitor. No way you're gonna survive the 7 full days here.
I'm gonna be the youngest partner at my firm. I can do a week at Christmas.
You're using way too much icing.
Please, your foundation is all crooked.
You're so mean.
And time.
Those are some pretty hideous sweaters.
Did you know this place has Minnesota's best flapjacks?
Double stack of flapjacks, extra butter.
Mark needs a little help chopping down the Christmas tree.
My dad and I used to do this together every year. He passed away 10 years ago. Being back here brings it all back up.
I think it's really brave you're here now.
There's a retirement home down the hill.
Bringing them a little bit of Christmas magic is the least we can do.
Maybe we could invite them to join us for our Christmas Eve feast. I got into law so that I could help people. I'm not.
I guess 7 days at a Christmas retreat can change a person. Hi, Kim.
Steven. He wants us to go back to the city tonight.
You should go.
So this is goodbye then. Dear Mark, this past week I rediscovered a part of me that has been long forgotten.
We are gonna build our snow ladies.
So you and Steven just decided to be friends?
As it turns out, I have feelings for someone else.
Alrighty, we are back. That was the Christmas retreat with my guest today, Mr. Clayton James. He's done some amazing film work for the past year and a half or so, including So Help Me Todd, which we're going to talk about in a second. I think he talked about it before, but the podcast Murders on Lifetime, that was an amazing show. I love a good thriller. The podcast, I mean, true crime on podcasts is huge right now, just in my industry. So on the film, it looked like it was a lot of fun to shoot. That was for Lifetime. Was that did you enjoy working on that episode?
Oh yeah, for sure. It was we got to shoot in a winery, and it was like this cool, dark lit, like basically where all the I'm gonna lose my train of thought of what it's called, but the distillery area, and it was a lot of fun. Natalie Sharp and Lainey McCauley were fantastic to work with. Our director was absolutely fantastic. She was one of her first MOWs, and she was just so into it, and she knew how to work with the actors, and she knew how to like create the different elements of what surprise that we wanted, and then also our lighting guy Rob, he was amazing. Just a fantastic crew. Again, it was the same crew that I've worked with a few times before, so it's always nice to go into these productions and have camaraderie, and everybody knows how to work with each other and speak to each other. Sometimes you go into a new crew, and it's just like there's always a kind of an adjustment period. But with these guys, I mean, they're always just same guys. People are working together, and it's always a fun collaboration. And thrillers are always very interesting. The jump shots and all these sort of different camera angles to do the cheats and the suspense of it all, and playing a character that's covering another character that is supposed to be maybe this person, but it turns out to be that person. And so the inner workings of it all are quite interesting. When I read the script, I thought it was pretty cool that there's some switches in there that I was, while I was reading, didn't see coming. And anytime I get to play sort of the psycho killer or like a dark character, I really enjoy that too. Don't judge me. I mean, it's just everybody, maybe has that side to them, but it's just a different aspect of the Christmas guy who's always kind of smiling and everything's good. You get to play a little bit of dark, and every actor kind of wants to have a well-rounded career where they get to play a little bit of everything. So that was a lot of fun. And podcast, again, like they were talking about trying to make it into sort of a series, and I thought that it would be quite an interesting series to take true crime and podcasts and mash that all together, and then make sort of a continuation of a couple movies out of it. But I think the traction didn't take. But
yeah, it would have been kind of fun to see it continue on like that. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we're talking about what a fantastic ally you are, and I was so excited when I saw So Help Me Todd come on. I'm a huge television fan, so I DVR like every new show that's coming out, and I love Skyler Astin. I love Marcia Gay Hardin. So I had hopes, not knowing what it was about going into it. And then I saw you were on. It's like, oh my God, my buddy Clayton's on this. So excited. Talk about being an ally. That self set has got to be so inclusive. I mean, Marcia has daughters that are part of the community. Skyler is such a great addition to the community. You have two. One of the main characters, one of the brothers, is gay and married to his husband. I mean, what an inclusive set that's got to be.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. And just the dynamics of everybody feeling comfortable on that set and able to be themselves and live their true identities out there and not feeling judged is it makes work a lot better. And even as a straight male, I mean, just walking into the a production that carries that love, that carries that non-judgment, that doesn't take any sort of old school mentalities that were in place in the past, that you can or can't be this based on your sexuality or based on your choice and all that kind of stuff. And Scott's a part of the community as well, and he's an amazing person. Even during the whole touching base on the whole B thing, like nobody really knew that I was going through that. But then after the people that I would think that just were kind of going to go about their day, they really reached out to me and made me feel part of that family, and had shared their stories of loss of their animals. And just it's just I felt very a part of a good family, and I felt very comfortable being on that set. Matt Wilkes is a beautiful human as well, who plays a part of the couple with Thomas Kedrow, and I like seeing the dynamics of the family shift around that. And it's been, like I said, it's been more of a family for me, because it's been a long journey for me on the show to be a part of, and yeah, it's really fun.
Well, it's a fantastic show. Like I said, I never know going into the new season what I'm going to like, because there's a lot of shows that have some great casts that you never know what's going to happen. So I did know, but I really got involved with the fun that Marcia and Skyler have as their characters. Is a lot of fun. But you guys all bring so much to it. I mean, you and Madeline, I keep forgetting the character's name, Allison. Just the fact that she was Card's mom blows me away, but that's I like that for that. But everyone has such great parts to the series that are so different. I mean, your character, along with Allison, has your dynamic, which is very different. Then you have the character, like I said, Lawrence and Chet, Matthew and Thomas, that has really, and Lawrence is kind of out of the picture for most of it. It's got to be just kind of nice to see these relationships grow and how they kind of come together.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I mean, a lot of the time, and forgive me, Scott, if I'm not supposed to say this for Scott, the show creator, but he was basing a lot of it on his upbringing and his life in Portland, and some of the stories of the dynamics of that he told us, behind the scenes. It's quite interesting and funny, and everybody plays their pivotal part in that family, and the dynamics of Skyler and Mar. My mom and I are very similar in how we banter and how we deal with each other and how we bicker. And my mom's always calling me, and even her friends are like, it reminds me of you and your mom. And so people that are watching it, it's been really well received. Even friends of mine that are childhood friends are always calling me every week. They're just happy to see me being a part of the show, and they love the character. And, it's the first time where I've been able to play with comedy a little bit more, and my mom always said I was funny. So I guess I am funny. Bit funny to her, but you know what I mean? It's like, and we got to, and they'll let me, Scott and the directors and the producers will let us sort of just throw ad libs out there and just play off each other. And Skyler's fantastic to bank ideas off of. Maddie's super fun to just kind of, we have that basically polar opposite personalities in the show, but off camera, like she's one of the goofiest, silliest, most kind-hearted, people. To just chat with, and then you see her kind of snap back into that uptight Allison character who is a little bit more rigid, and Chuck's just kind of more like me in real life, is kind of just whatever, kind of going with the flow. He doesn't really ever want to hurt anybody, and he doesn't really ever want to step on anybody's toes, but he also kind of just like wants to live his life and wants to be friends with everybody. And it's not a far stretch for me to play Chuck, if anybody's wondering. There's definitely more method in that of just my life and me as a human being to just have a playful, fun time with it. And so I know that Chuck's journey in the beginning was definitely not as involved, and I know that we all just kind of vibed and collaborated, and then Chuck had basically been around a lot longer, which I'm very thankful for. And as an actor, you've always hoped that you book a pilot and then you're a part of the series, and there's always a possibility that even if you book the pilot may not go, or you might not be included in the cast. And luckily for me, I was able to still continue on the show and build those dynamics with everybody on and off set. And Mar is just fantastic to watch. I mean, she's the captain of the ship in so many ways, and she's just such a lovely, vibrant person. And when you are working with in such an established, amazing actor, it can be a little bit intimidating at times, but she never makes you feel that way. And Skyler. So basically, before, I think we shot the pilot, and maybe we were in like another episode, and I had invited some of the cast out to go on the boat, and they had never seen what I call my backyard, which is basically a place called Indian Arm. So it's Burrard Inlet up in Vancouver, and it's boat access only. And so I took Tristan, Inga, Maddie, and Skyler out on the boat, and they were just like instantly like, what is this place? And it's nice for me to share that with them, because I have so much passion for it. And I love showing people that like these places exist, just as much as when you go visit somebody else and they're showing you their backyard and all their favorite spots, and whether it's in the big city or a small, suburban area. And then we just bonded that day, and it was really nice to sort of collab with them. And so, there was no awkward set moments of trying to have to create that bond. It was like instantaneous with everybody. And Thomas and I, being the two Vancouverites, were, both kind of just being like, oh, I don't know if this is going to go, man. Like, we'll see what happens. And then, of course, the journey continued for both of us, and we've just been really happy to be a part of it. And everybody at CBS has been amazing. The producers are amazing. I also will mention that Inga is become one of my good friends as well. She's such a fantastic actor and vibrant person, and so talented. So yeah,
it's gorgeous too. I don't know, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, stunning. Yeah, everybody's vibrantly beautiful on that show. It's been
exactly. Yeah. Well, it's so cool because, like I said, I mean, the first couple episodes, it was primarily dinner parties you were part of, right? And then you had your big penultimate Chuck episode where you really got to see your personality and humor come out. and I just thought it was amazing. And let's show everyone else that I got some clips I threw together. So this is my guest today, Mr. Clayton James, as Chuck on So Help Me Todd. We'll be back on the other side. Listen to Left of Str8 Show right here in the Left of Str8 Radio Network.
Thank you, Justine. I owe you one. Who else knows about the winning seat numbers in advance of the giveaway? The giveaway?
Just me. It was a secret I kept in my heart.
It's all you. It's all on you. You're the only one at the center of this whole thing.
Yep.
My God, he's implicating himself. For what? I don't know. I've got to get in there.
Those prize winners have me to thank. Me and me only. Chuck, Jebediah, Grant.
Stop, stop, stop. I'm shutting this down. I am this man's attorney.
Margaret Wright, you don't have the authority to shut anything down. Mr. Grant refused counsel, and he's our witness, not your client.
Natalie Harris. I should have known.
I do have a blue monogram bag. Yeah, it's my gym bag. Why?
It was used in the kickback scheme.
What? No.
Yes.
Can't be right. Although that bag did go missing about a month ago.
Wait, missing from where?
From my office. But nobody here would steal it. All my coworkers are my friends. I love them. I mean, you could ask Janet, ask Francisco,
no, Chuck,
the janitor,
we're not asking anyone.
Skippy, Bob.
Look, Chuck, no one knows there's an investigation happening, and we need to keep it that way.
That's right. Otherwise, the person running the scam is going to shut it down, and you will take the fall for it.
So what am I supposed to do? Just keep coming to work and act normal?
As normal as possible. For you. Okay? You're already walking weird. Just walk normal,
doing?
Chuck.
Spider! Ah! Death at him! No, no!
Todd, it is a mascot costume.
It's just back from being repaired. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. Okay, now down to business. Where did you keep your gym bag?
Oh, over here on this shelf. But it's gone now.
Chuck, what is that on the dartboard? Is this the stadium seating chart?
Are these the darts that you used to choose the winning seats?
Yeah, it's my dart chart.
Chuck, you didn't think to take the darts or the chart down?
Literally anyone who walks into your office can see the winners.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
All 300 plus people who work here are now suspects. We are running out of time. We won't be able to vet them all.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh?
All right, that was my guest, Clayton James, in a couple scenes from what I would call the penultimate Chuck episode on So Help Me Todd. Got a little hot water there, little naivete showing through, but that heart of gold as always. Was that a fun episode for you to play?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very fun episode. I mean, I got to ad lib a lot in that, and we just banked off each other, Skyler, me, and Mari. Even with that walking scene where he's walking through the arena into saying hi to his employees and all that kind of stuff. You know, it was just really fun to play, and our director was so fantastic in letting me do that. Our producers were all sitting there laughing, and it's always nice when you ad lib and you get a really big response from the cast and crew. You know, it's I love making people laugh. I definitely try to, you know, bring humor throughout my day of just kind of keeping life, you know, at bay, of not trying to take it too serious and just be the goofy sort of class clown at times. And I think that Chuck, with his, you know, whether he's naive or whether he's just really gold-hearted or just always wants the best, it brings out very funny character dynamics in him. For people that have seen the episode, when a personal item of his goes missing and he just goes, oh, well, it's just not there anymore. And so he just doesn't even like clue in that the bag's gone and that it's sort of a part of the problem of the issue circling around his character. He's just kind of like shrugs his shoulders and kind of just goes, okay, well, on to the next thing. And so Scott wrote that episode, and the collaboration of writers, it was just really fun to shoot. And again, I grew up playing hockey, so it was kind of neat that they were able to sort of bring that Chuck's characters involved in the Widows, and it was just a lot of fun to play. And I think that was the first time in almost the whole season that Inga and I had the chance to see each other on set, like on actually filming in the same episode. Like obviously we're in the same episodes, but we were like passing ships in the night. We never saw each other. Tristan as well. I think it was the first time almost. So that was like almost 20 episodes that we had never saw each other on set for Inga and Tristan. So it was quite funny. It was like almost everybody was there, which was nice.
I love that. I love Tristan's asides. He has the best side eye face. I mean,
He's fantastic. I mean, I caught up on all the episodes and I text him and I was like, dude, so funny, so enjoyable to watch. He's hilarious. Like, and then some of his other work, he's just has me in stitches all the time. But his side face in So Help Me Todd, he's so great to watch. He's so charismatic in his own way.
Well, he plays it so well. I mean, like I said, we got this side face and this wry side of him for most of the season. Then we have this girl that he's potentially likes coming into the last couple episodes, and you see him all flustered and girl crazy. Sure. It's just a great juxtaposition for him. I think he played it so well.
Yeah, it's like she showed up and took some Jenga blocks out of his confidence and his character, and all of a sudden he just starts waving everywhere, and you never know if he's gonna the whole thing's just gonna crumble. But it's that dynamic of the new character and him are awesome as well.
Well, just like I said, everyone does a fantastic job out. I'm looking forward to a season 2. It got picked up relatively quickly. I mean, it just is that good of episode. I mean, the heart of your character, I think, showed it all in the scene where you're delivering the 3 a.m. snacks or whatever to Skyler's character. I love that kind of aside for what shows what your character's all about. So the only thing I'm worried about is Maddie or Allison's not real happy with your relationship right now. So I don't know what we can say about season 2. We have to wait till off air, but I'm a little scared. I got to tell you, my friend.
Yeah, truthfully, I don't know much. I don't know what Chuck's future is on that, and whatever the journey may be, I fully support the storyline, and I just hope that Chuck and Allison can sort it out, or whatever their journey is. I mean, I just love being a part of that show. So I even, jokingly said to Scott, I'm like, I'll come play a tree, man. I don't really care. I just love being on set with everybody there and being a part of such a fun, fantastic show that's been really, really, really well received. And everybody's hard work is definitely paying off for that, especially Scott. So.
Well, I'm hoping you and Maddie get together. If not, just move Skyler's character into the main house and you guys be roommates and you help him solve the crime. Be as a new assistant detective there.
We were always joking that Chuck and Chet ran off together because Matt's character was never around all that much, and we were always left at the table together and left as sort of just the two bystanders of not being a part of the family, just kind of being like, whoa, there's a lot of family dynamics going on here.
I love that. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, great show, my friend, and we'll knock on wood that we'll have you back on. But if not, only bigger and better things. I mean, what do you have lined up? I saw you have a couple of shorts that you filmed, put together that haven't been released yet. Skinner and Tipping Point. So we can look forward to those. What other projects do you have on the burner right now?
Yeah, Skinner's been backlogged for a while. That was sort of a teaser trailer for a horror film. And I'm not sure what the production company and those guys want to do with that. It was really fun to be a part of. There's a crazy, very, very tiring scene that we shot, and I was really hoping to see something, but some things take a while, and I'll touch base with the gentleman who created it and see where that's at. Tipping Point, again, I don't know if that's going to go anywhere, but I've worked with the creator just in a collab via email and in some future projects that he's discussing, maybe bringing me a part of. And right now, just with the strike and everything going on, lots of self-tapes and auditions, lots of trying to grind and get back out there. But it is really tough, and I'm really proud of everybody that's able to be working right now, and happy for everybody that's working. And I hope it keeps everybody humble and the egos don't grow too big, because we need less of that in the industry for sure. And again, just kind of staying in class. Deb Podolsky's been fantastic, and then just staying occupied. This business is very much a lot of ebbs and flows for everybody. I know a lot of actors feel that, and you got to basically wear many hats and do different jobs. And I just hope that everybody during this time and in any part of what's going on, everybody can keep their head up and just know that there's always going to be brighter days in the future. And I kind of try to keep telling myself that as frustrating as some days can be, that I personally have been very lucky to come a long way in this career, and just got to stay on my toes and stay trained and see where it takes me.
Well, my friend, you were talented as hell. And like I said, I was 100% mean it. I just can tell from the first time we talked 3 years ago that you're the real deal. I mean, you're not fake. You're not phony. You are who you are. And I just appreciate you being a fantastic ally and becoming a good friend, if not just on social media. But it's always great to talk to you, Clayton.
Yeah, for sure. You too. And I really appreciate you having me on the show. And I appreciate you allowing me to be an ally and everybody giving me some advice and reaching out to my friends in that community. I got a few best friends down in Florida and in the US and you as well that I can talk to and find that if there's any point in time on a platform that I could speak out or, you guys can give me some advice to be able to join you guys and be that ally for you that I'm really always open and willingness to talk to anybody about it as well. And hopefully I can always be an ally.
Well, it's appreciated, and congratulations on the new pups. I can't wait to keep following you and following them on social media, where we can find you and see some of these great pics of the pups and what you might be going on this summer for you.
Instagram, I am Clayton James. Facebook, I don't really navigate all that well. Twitter, I'm terrible at, but Instagram is always an easy one. I don't post a lot either. It's not that I'm private. I don't know. I try and just live my life away from the screen more and more, but the puppies are definitely going to get more of a platform. And B will always be mentioned every now and then just to keep myself reminding her that she's always going to be with me. And my lovely wife who's doing very, very amazing things as well. I give a big shout out to her for how hard she works and all the products or things she's got on the go, both in her real estate business and then on screen as well. You can look forward to seeing her in Shoresy, and then some stuff is in the works for a big show down in LA for her. And I'm hoping that she gets it and that she can also relish in that.
Definitely, all in the family. I love it. Thanks so much for Clayton coming on the show today. Be sure to look for new interviews every week. On Monday, we do the Rainbow Rundown. On Tuesday, the 5-question with. You're listening to Left of Str8 Show right here on the Left of Str8 Radio Network. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Left of Str8 Show. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast distributor, and please give us a 5-star rating so more listeners can find us. You can follow us on social media, and be sure to check out our website, www.leftofstraightradio.com, for contests and other news and information. See you next week.